Welcome to a new episode of the Future of Business podcast. I'm April Corey with Fast Future Publishing, and today we feature a reading by Puruesh Chaudhary on her chapter, Shaping the Future of Journalism. If you're interested in learning more about the book, The Future of Business, or on any of our authors, visit us at fastfuturepublishing.com. In her chapter, Puruesh discusses how the practice of journalism needs to evolve in the face of continuous global change and rapid technological advancement. Plus, she also touches on Foresight Journalism and its importance in the coming decades to society, governments, and businesses. Here's Puruesh Chaudhary reading her chapter, Shaping the Future of Journalism from The Future of Business.
My name is Puruesh Chaudhary. I'm a distinguished scholar at the Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad. I work as a futures researcher, focusing on strategic narratives within the domain of human security. I have a professional master's degree in international negotiation and policy making. I run a not-for-profit organization called Agahi, which essentially focuses on creating shared spaces for interactive learning, collaborative thinking, and knowledge sharing. If you need to learn more about what we do in Pakistan, don't forget to visit our website, www.agahi.org.pk. You may also write to me. My email address is puruesh@agahi.org.pk or follow me on Twitter @Puruesh. Shaping the Future of Journalism. This chapter explores how the practice of journalism could evolve in the face of continuous global change and rapid technological advancement. The craft of a storyteller. I believe that new territories emerge, which then later disintegrate, either to be re-engineered or evolved into something we may know as new. This new kind of newness shapes lives, communities, realities, and perceptions. The proliferation of innovation and access to technology plays a fundamental role in connecting lives and experiences. Storytellers thus describe and explain these network realities, building perceptions and opinions. The dynamics of how information is created and shared has changed drastically due to emergence of social media. Information consumers are now actively participating in shaping realities. The media, a watchdog, struggles with covering all sides of the story so that value and credibility is not lost. This is mostly due to the fact that it does not engineer or orchestrate a story. Rather, it acts like a bystander, a human-dependent medium that transmits information. The future of journalism will determine how new tools, techniques, and technologies such as bots will be used to assimilate information. Who, though, will determine what value and credibility the information holds in the pretext of an informed citizenry. Time for transition. News structures and journalists must adapt to changing technology. How quickly they will adapt to the growing societal need for an enhanced quality of life across the board is a question that needs much introspection. Who do we turn to for ideas, information on how to improve key aspects of our lives? Trends indicate that individuals prefer to follow the advice of other individuals rather than organizations. But why? Is it because the trust deficit is so great and the choices are so abundant to an information consumer that he or she no longer feels the need to be informed by a traditional infrastructure? Could it be that the detachment of personal ideas from organizational policies are becoming an impediment to a freedom of thought and thereby expression, and somehow a degree of an objective opinion is diluted? There is significant technological and scientific advancement on the horizon that could transform the delivery of journalistic content, with some commentators arguing that it could be automated completely. However, we believe the human medium that factors in ethics and values should still play a fundamental role in how challenges and opportunities from the future are communicated. Perhaps this brings us back to the basics. Maybe this comes across as journalism 101 even. Integrity of information choices can be slightly convoluted when ethics and values function as mere variables that are not specific to transient economies and communities. So the way that the information flows to enable consumers to interact changes in line with geopolitical and societal development. For example, why is a retweet not considered equal to an endorsement? when clearly there is a level of association even in a disassociated way. The distinction draws in an element of fear we are witnesses that arises regarding the use of social media. In many countries and news organizations, journalists on a 9 to 5 payroll do not have the freedom to express their personal views in social space, while the line between professionalism and freedom is blurring in other sectors. This ghastly journalistic isolation is giving rise to many alternative media outlets and platforms. Every now and then, an unannounced forum pops up as being newsy. The citizen journalism phenomena has had a multiplier effect on the number of news, and because it is dispersed by its very nature, the audience is often flexible and the insights are extraordinarily interesting. Facts, opinions, and chosen realities can be seen developing into stories. Each phase can be moduled and assessed to build a theoretical knowledge base. The traditional media sector is now competing with an extraordinary information industry. However, the traditional media groups should, in theory, have an edge over the broad swath of content of the internet. This is due to the high level of professionalism and sophisticated ethical standards that news organizations by and large try to maintain. However, even though it is easy for the traditional media to champion ethics and values as their trademark, there are clear, regular lapses. Several breaches can be quoted as example, such as the phone hacking scandal in the UK in 2011. Ethics and values are a competitive advantage in the information industry. Public trust is a key stock for the industry, but neither ethics nor values are static notion, so trust is maintained through credibility of the content. Drivers of change. The drivers of change in journalism may perhaps in the medium to long term be the same as for any other sector. Accelerating innovation, disruptive technology advancement, demographic shifts, resource scarcity, religious extremism, and ethnic tensions will essentially determine the future news stories. Hence, credibility will come from the ability of the sector to deliver quality content that, in its independent capacity, recognizes these inevitable dynamic shifts. The sector's impact will be judged on its ability to formulate a knowledge footprint. Expert knowledge adds tremendous value, enabling journalists to make the judgments required for objective and ethical reporting. Although the imagined future is distributed and sources of knowledge will be widespread, increasingly it is becoming necessary for journalists to build expertise which enhances their credibility. The amount of information and data accessible in the coming decades will continue to expand exponentially. This will be impossible for human journalists to keep up with. Yet, there will be a lot of news in all that data. The practice of journalism in the future will require us to go beyond typical journalistic thought processes and the standard systems that support them. Certainly, in the coming decades, we can expect the most organizations, especially news providers, will be deploying artificial intelligence tools to help them make sense of the information superglut. Indeed, this is already happening in many sectors such as policing, professional services, and medical research. Future AI-based reporting systems will identify newsworthy events and produce relevant news content independently of humans. Imagine what an expert journalist could do if aided by a digital assistant that could reach for and verify huge stocks of information that would otherwise be quite impossible to gather and analyze. The future is incredibly exciting for professional and credible journalists. It is quite possible that such tools could help the financial markets to develop a sustainable operational framework for information stocks, maintaining public trust. Foresight Journalism. Foresight journalism is a distinct practice that helps position stories in a future context rather than simply reporting the facts of what has just happened. Hence, it can be helpful as an informal policy tool. Journalists who help their communities think ahead are also helping societies move forward. Journalists do have a role in public leadership, and that is an important part of foresight journalism. There are many communications, media, and journalism faculties that have not yet developed a program that focuses on foresight journalism. A foresight journalism program will enable the next generation of information gatherers and knowledge assemblers to create a new value system to help in shaping the sector's credibility. Being ahead of the curve will not only be about adapting to new technologies and tools, it will also require outward and forward-looking thought leaders within the information ecosystem. These leaders can be the transformers, catalysts that can equip traditional media organizations with the ability to adapt to changing needs. Today, there are concerns about the potential future scenarios and societal impacts of AI as the technology advances rapidly. The public will want to know more and understand it better. Similarly, on the environmental front, we are at a point where climate-caused catastrophes and environmental destruction threatens billions of people, and climate change deniers are finally being ignored. In this context, there should be high demand for quality foresight journalism that explores likely, plausible futures, potential solutions, and possible coping strategies. While this may not be happening routinely today, at some point, the information industry will come to understand the importance of foresight journalism. Therefore, 3 questions for news organizations to consider. What are the features and characteristics that will make customers want to pay for content generated by professional journalists when free alternatives may be provided by their artificial intelligence counterparts? How should traditional news media respond to the rise of new technologies, network journalism, and the growing importance of information gatherers and assembler communities? What are the implications of adopting a foresight journalism approach on staffing levels, the time required to produce well-researched articles, and industry business models? I'd like to thank you for listening and also look forward to your feedback, comments, and ideas worth exploring. If you need to learn more about what we do in Pakistan, don't forget to visit our website www.agahi.org.pk. You may also follow me on Twitter at Puruesh. This book has been a generous piece of work edited by Rohit and his team at Fast Future Publishing. It is perhaps one of the easiest read on futures that showcases wealth of ideas from all over the world. So don't forget to get a copy for yourself from www.fastfuturepublishing.com.
A special thanks to Puruesh for reading her chapter for us, and a thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today. If you do like the podcast, please go onto iTunes or Stitcher Radio and give us a rating or a review, or simply pass us on to your friends. If you have any feedback, I can always be reached at april@fastfuturepublishing.com. And of course, to pick up a copy of The Future of Business, visit us at fastfuturepublishing.com. Until next time, I'm your host, April, and I'll talk to y'all later.